Well, joining me now to discuss, retired Lieutenant Colonel with the U.S. Army, the president of the London Center for Policy Research, Tony Shaffer. Tony, appreciate you joining us. I'm disgusted by what I heard yesterday in the fact that there has been nothing changed. Nobody's been fired for a bunch of service members being killed.
This was forecast. This was predictable. The 13 who died did not have to. I was part of the contingency planning regarding the Trump plan. Mike Pompeo and I did not always agree on everything, but the last chapter of my book, Operation Darkheart, was the path forward. That is to say, a reconciliation of the Taliban with the government of Afghanistan. Joe Biden threw that deal out. He actually created conditions for the Taliban to be successful. And most importantly, Carl, these people you're showing right now died because of incompetence. We never were supposed to give up Bagram. We should have had Bagram. We should have done the airlift out of Bagram, which is more secure. When the ISIS bomber came up, the rules of engagement were so strict, the sniper could not shoot the guy, even though he knew who he was. And most importantly, to your point, Joe Biden was briefed. He knew exactly what was going to happen the moment we stepped away from Afghanistan. This was forecast. And shame on Lloyd Austin. I worked for Lloyd Austin when he was a brigadier general in Afghanistan during my second tour in Afghanistan. I know Mark Milley. All of these people know better. And yet they didn't do the right thing. They didn't resign in protest to tell the president to stop doing what he did. Instead, they became co-conspirators of this tragedy. And it's beyond a dereliction of duty at this point, because to your point, Carl, nobody's resigned. They've continued to make bad decisions. This is why 35% of DOD recruiting numbers did not happen last year. Everybody knows we have bad leadership. It's all bad leadership.
Yeah, they're more interested in bullets and the revals than bullets and bad guys. Tony, take a listen to the emotion. I mean, these stories were incredibly emotional. This is Cheryl Rex, the mother of the fallen Marine Lance Corporal Dylan Marola. Listen to this.
When Joe Biden, our elected president, entered the room, when he approached me, his words to me were, my wife Jill and I know how you feel. We lost our son as well and brought him home in a flag-draped coffin. My heart started beating faster, and I started shaking, knowing that their son died from cancer and they were able to be by his side. Also wondering how someone could honestly be so heartless to say he knew how I felt.
This is stolen valor. That's what Joe Biden just committed, is stolen valor, Tony. How in the world has he gotten away with this without, serious problems even with his own party?
Well, his party right now is derelict as much as he is. I mean, that woman lost a family member in the most tragic and preventable circumstance ever. Joe Biden lies. He tries constantly to impress those around him by his narcissistic attitude that whatever he says is true. It's not. This is pure projection. This is pure narcissism by the president. Also, Carl, on this point, Biden recently said, I got Afghanistan right. Really? You want to leave the Chinese to take over the rare earths,
$1 trillion lithium
copper mines? Exactly. So that he got that right, and then he lets these people die, and then he lies about it, about Bo. This is insane. This is beyond insane. And again, the mainstream media, everybody needs to look at this for what it is. Joe Biden is manipulating the facts for purposes of hurting family members who had tragic losses on the battlefield. This is simply unconscionable.
And it's like they have more concern for our enemies than they do for the men and women that volunteer to go. I mean, like, look, I'm sorry, not sorry, but I'll drop a bomb on 1,000 bad guys so I can bring one American home. Tony Shaffer, we appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, sir.